Welcome back, my dear students. Let us start our 22nd lesson, and our today's topic is relative clauses. In your previous classes, you must have gone through what is a sentence or what is a phrase, and today we will discuss first what is a clause. We say a clause is a group of words that has a subject and it always has a verb. So, in other words, we say clause is equal to subject and its verb, and if it if this verb is a finite verb, then we say that is a finite clause. And in fact, a finite clause is the basic unit of a sentence. Coming to our topic, relative clause. What is the definition of a relative clause? Is a relative clause is a clause that defines the person or thing the speaker means. That is, it tells us which person or thing or what kind of person or thing the speaker means. For example, the woman is a doctor, she lives next door. So, here we say, when we connect these two sentences by introducing a relative clause, we say the woman who lives next door. This means who lives next door. It is the relative clause in this sentence, and it defines which woman we are talking about, or that she, and what is she. It gives us some information about her, and that information is, we know that she is a doctor, but at the same time it gives us information that she lives next door. So this is what is called as a relative clause. A relative clause, it defines or it refers to the person or thing the speaker means. A relative clause starts with a relative pronoun. Relative pronouns include who, that, which, whose, where, whom, and it joins the relative clause to that means these relative pronouns join the relative clause to another clause in a sentence. Next, a relative clause is placed immediately after the antecedent. That means the person or the thing the speaker means in the sentence. When we mention that person or the thing in the sentence, immediately after that we start the relative clause, and a relative clause starts with a relative pronoun. There are two types of relative clauses. One is defining relative clause and another is non-defining relative clause. Defining relative clause, it gives us essential information about the noun or the noun phrase, or about the person or the thing the speaker means. And non-defining relative clause, it gives us extra information about the person or the thing the speaker means, or about, in other words, the noun or the noun phrase. And here the two clauses, they are separated by commas. That means we put the relative clause between two commas. Now let us come to uses of various pronouns, how they are used. First, start with who. Who is used in a relative clause when we are talking about people. It's used instead of he, she, and they. That means it replaces he, she, and they. For example, we say the man is an actor, he lives in London. And when we introduce a relative clause in this sentence, or we join the two sentences by introducing a relative clause, we say the man, because first when we mention him, and immediately after that we will start the relative clause. So it will be like this: the man who lives in London is an actor. Coming to next example, we know a lot of people, they are very friendly. They here refers to people, not to we, and that's why when we have introduced the relative clause, we have placed it immediately after its antecedent. For and the example goes like this: we know a lot of people who are very friendly, because they here refers to people, not to we. Similarly, we say that an architect is someone who designs buildings. So who is used for people, and it replaces he, she, and they in a sentence. Use of that or which. That or which is used in a relative clause when we are talking about things or happenings. That or which is used instead of it or they. For example, we say Jim works for a company, the company makes smartphones, or it makes smartphones. So when we introduce a relative clause and we join the two sentences together, it will be like this: Jim works for a company that makes smartphones, because the next second sentence in the above this line, the company, it was referring to the company, not to the Jim, and that's why when we mentioned company, after that immediately we put relative clause. In the next example, where is the cheese? Where is the milk? It was in the fridge. And relative clause will be introduced like this: where is the milk that was in the fridge? Because it refers to milk. And that's why when we have, in this example, we have referred the milk, we have introduced relative clause. And the relative clause starts from that was in the fridge. Or we say the fire spread across a large area, they caused a lot of damage. And when we introduce a relative clause and we join these two clauses together, we say the fires that spread, or which spread across a large area, caused a lot of damage. Number 3 is whose. Whose is used in a relative clause when we are talking about belongings. It can be a person's belongings, that can be another person in his or her life, or that can be also even there are some material things. And whose is used instead of his, her, their, its. For whose, for example, we say I met a man, his sister knows you. That means this man not, but his sister knows you. And that's why we have written I met a man whose sister knows you. And we have written I met a man whose sister knows you. Or we say what is the name of the man you borrowed his car. So you borrowed, the next sentence, his car, it refers to, it's about his car. So that's why we have, that means it's his belonging, and that's why we have written it like this: what is the name of the man whose car you borrowed. So it's not the man you borrowed, it's actually his car you borrowed, and because it is his belonging, that's why we have used whose. And then comes the next relative pronoun where. Where is used in a relative clause when we are talking about a place, and it's used instead of there. This is there, there. For example, we say we live in a country, there is plenty of sunshine there. Last one there, there. So when we introduce a relative clause here, we will write the sentence like this: we live in a country where there is plenty of sunshine. And where, for example, we can also say we stayed at a hotel, it wasn't clean there. Or when we converted, we merge the two sentences by introducing a relative clause, we will write the sentence like this: the hotel, we changed it a little bit, the hotel where we stayed wasn't clean. That means when we mention the hotel, that means the antecedent, immediately after that we started the relative clause. And here in this example, where we stayed is the relative clause. Next comes home. Home is also used in a relative clause for people, and it's used instead of who. For example, we say the woman was away on a holiday and I wanted to see her. We can write it: the woman whom I wanted to see was away on holiday. Instead of writing who, we will write home. Or with whom we also use with whom we also use by or with prepositions sometimes, in order to give it a complete meaning. For example, we say the woman who fell in love with him left him after a few weeks. In this example, we will write it like this: the woman with whom he fell in love left him after a few weeks. So this is whom is also used for people, and it replaces who usually. And this was our topic about relative clauses, and today we ended it, and this is for today. Thank you so much.